Tenzin Gyatso, the 14th Dalai Lama, is the spiritual leader of millions of Tibetans. His Holiness has been in Dharamsala, India, since fleeing Tibet after the Chinese takeover in 1959. The winner of the 1989 Nobel Prize for Peace, he is a man of vision and compassion who speaks from the heart to all people.
Mommy, you have my photos here.
I really very happy have this opportunity to talk. Here, I consider myself as another human being. We are same being who have this human flesh, human blood. And as a result, the inner experience of pains and pleasure and joys are same. On that level, we can communicate very easily. If we think more, for example, in my own case, as a Buddhist, as a Tibetan, as an Easterner, if we put more emphasis on these secondary factor, then sometimes it makes barrier to come closer one another. And basically the humanness or human being, that is the most important. The other culture, different the system. These things, secondary thing, which supposed to support humanity, gaining knowledge. We must take very, very careful, very care. Careful, I don't know, take great care to develop the, inner spiritual development. I think 5 billion human beings on this planet. Now we become more mature. Through difficult experiences. I consider sometimes it's a suffering and difficulties. In a way, very bad, very unfortunate. Difficult is difficult, suffering is suffering. Nobody wants. At the same time, if we look another aspect, then the suffering or period of, when you passing through difficulties and suffering, that is the best time to gain experiences. Again, when things things are very smooth, then sometimes our carelessness, mood, often come. When things become desperate, when things become more sort of dangerous, then human reaction become more alert. Then we find, new answer. So I think this century, things become so, complicated and so delicate that help us to examine one's own, inner world and also deeper nature. So as a result, now the overall picture, there are more, more hopeful signs. So these are the reasons which, keeping, my, optimism. Never die, always remain, even increasing. So there are plenty of reasons, to be optimistic. We human beings, our intelligence, our mind is so sophisticated. So we found many different kind of ideology or system. So as a result, at one time, among the humanity, you see, some people believe, you see, human material development or economic development or human happiness can achieve through, let's say, sheer sort of rigid system, sacrifice individual freedom and rights. Through such system can achieve some good result. So sometimes, you see, some repressive measures, repressive policy, and repressive regimes, came to being. Now again, time goes, the repressive or too much rigid system that is basically against the human nature. Human love freedom, human love liberty. That's, you see, no force can stop that one. Even animal, poor animal, loves freedom. Now, for example, you see, these days I have one small cat. You see, that cat, although you see, that cat very unusually, very gentle, very, very gentle. So you see, everyone is very fond that cat. So you see, feeding, we feed well, and always we are making this what we call pet, right? And one thing, you see, if the cat go outside my room, then you see very often some dirty things bring. So therefore, I always prefer to keep in my room, in building. So you see, despite all the, the friendly atmosphere, my poor cat, whenever opportunity to run away, the cat always go outside and bring some dirty things. So that means even that small animal loves freedom, individual freedom. Isn't it? So we human beings, we have such, you see, we have two eyes, we have two ears. And here, you see, very big machines which can calculate all, you see, factors. And how can stop that function? Impossible. So therefore, now time goes, the basic human spirit, the individual freedom, democracy, you see, these things naturally, overcome the other, you see, human evil forces. Not through killing, not through war, but through, the time goes, some kind of, you see, evolution, now you see, it's taking place. Very wonderful. Then, I think in this respect, Gorbachev, of course, no doubt, I think, made greatest contribution. Then another is a factor, the ecology. In early part of century, even middle of this century, I think people generally simply concerned about how to utilize, how to utilize, how to take, how much. People's interest only, taking, consume oneself. Now today, again, human, I think, awareness reach much, deeper awareness about reality. So now, not only is individual people now concerning environment, but even some political parties now established on the basis of that kind of ideology. That also is a very positive development. It's a world, usually I call mother planet. Essentially, we human beings, because of the planet's condition, change, then we human beings came to exist, came to being. But now today, the scientific research or scientific knowledge is so deep. So you see, such as, you see, say, the neurology, and also the cosmology and subatomic particles. You see, when people used to talk in these fields, then you see, there is some kind of,
Involvement.
Involvement, yes, involvement about, you see, human, I think the involvement about knower side or human mind. So, in any way, you see, the science and human spiritual, again, it seems somehow it's come closer. As a human nature, you see, the human community, as a social animal, we have to live together in order to sustain or in order to survive humanity, in order to develop human future. So we need genuine cooperation. So like the world as a whole, the things, not one single thing cannot grow or cannot sustain independently. Everything interrelated. Therefore, you see, cooperation is the essential. How to have genuine cooperation? Now, modern economic structure, not only nation to nation, but continent to continent, heavily related to one another. So therefore, you see, the reality, modern economies and many reality now,
Indicate.
Indicated or, the reality itself, you see, need cooperation and genuine compassion and love. Here, whether you see rich or poor, or educated or uneducated, not much matter. So human heart is there, human brain is there. We can practice. Everyone wants happiness, do not want suffering. And the ultimate decision maker, happiness and pains, not outside, not matters, even not doctors, but ourselves. Our own mental attitude adopt a certain, if we ourselves have certain mental attitude, then even you see, even that person surrounded by hostile, the external things, external forces, very little to disturb the inner peace. The contrary, if you have no inner peace, then even you surrounded by best fence and the best facility, you may not feel happy. So therefore, I always telling people, if we are true selfish, then be a wise selfish rather than foolish selfish. Isn't it? Is it deep down thinking oneself? But in order to gain more to oneself, help other people. Pope and also the other different religious leaders, I think quite a number of occasions, I have opportunities to meet these people, and then I get impression that everyone, most of them, sincerely trying to achieve closer relation between various different religions. Current situation of Tibet. Now you know, of course, the last 40 years is our experiences. It's very sad experiences. Of course, nobody can deny the last 40 years is some development, some positive development. New roads, more, the hospitals and education institutions. But then, compare the negative side, human suffering. the cost of these development. So we cannot compare. More than 1 million Tibetan died. More than 6,000 monasteries and temples disappeared. So in any way, the darkest period, I can say 95% Tibetan. All, do not want to remain under Chinese domination. So they express, express of their deep sorrow. The reality is that Tibet, historically and geographically, culturally, linguistically, is racially separate from China. And that is true. Not only proper education, but proper mental development is very essential, I believe. Usually I call the human intelligence, brain, as the human intelligence and human heart as a spirit or the spiritual. Here spiritual means not necessarily some particular religion or faith, but simply as the Chancellor mentioned. So I always consider the love and compassion, altruism. This is something like a universal religion. That's important. And various religion essentially, teach us, help us to develop, these qualifications.
Qualities.
These
Qualities.
These qualities. So the most important thing is the compassion, good heart, warm heart. Because, if we are lacking something here, then our human intelligence may use, not very sure whether human intelligence can be a destructive, cause,
Force.
destructive force or constructive force. No guarantee. So therefore, the good heart is something very essential. Education as another instrument to solve human problem, to serve humanity. That instrument must utilize with a sincere motivation. Then that education can bring us good result. Otherwise, human intelligence may bring us disaster. So the compassion, in the true sense, compassion, not simply feeling of pity, not that way. Here true compassion is, really concern the other people's suffering. So there is sense of responsibility. So that really gives us inner strength. And with that, tolerance, patience, and forgiveness, these come. So therefore, usually some people read the tolerance and patience, these things, signs of weakness. This is wrong. We should look these things as a signs of inner strength. Through our own experience, we can judge. When we meet someone, argue, then when they no more reasons, no more justification about one's own, point, then we get angry. As a supplementary way. No more reason, no more logical force to prove, then anger comes. So that means, in the field of reason and logics, you fail, so anger comes. So this is the sign of weakness. If you have, self-confidence and reasons and logic to prove, that point, then no need to come anger. So therefore, the anger is signs of weakness. The tolerance, patience are signs of strength. If someone shows me smile, genuine smile, I feel very happy. If someone, someone looks at me, something very negative face, I feel sorry. I'm not at all happy. So therefore, if we really, love smile and love friends, first we ourselves must create the possibility of genuine friends and genuine smile. We ourselves remain as a very angry person, very negative attitude, negative motivated person. And how can come other people as a friend? Some friends, unfortunately, in the real sense, not friend of truth, not friend of the person, but friend of wealth or friend of power. The indication is quite clear. When our fortune goes this way, there are many friends. Even you don't want to come, they're forced to come. When our fortune goes decline, then there is very difficult to find the traces of these friends. Even you want to telephone, you may not get answer. Even you get some answer, very short answer. Why? The other people, they consider that the person is worthless. Still the same human being. In fact, the fortune declining, that is the really time need friends. And where are gone these friends? Isn't it? So therefore, you see, the true friends must come on the basis of one's own mental, positive attitude. They take close look matters, and within those matters is something which benefit for human being we take, and something not a benefit we simply discard it. So through that way the material development happen. So same way the human inner world, it is worthwhile to take more careful look inner world and make some experiment. In this case, we do not need big laboratory. But laboratory is here, quite simple. Although small size, but we have huge human brain, computer here. So the external computer, even I think it's a big size. I think this big size, computer, cannot match the human computer here. Now today, more people, really, thinking or trying to avoid war. And I think very few, almost none, who can face the nuclear danger or threat. So through nuclear war, this is not question of winner and loser, but this is something mutual destruction. So in any case, now today, I think the force for peace is much, much stronger. Especially, I think, generally speaking, among the younger people's mind, the genuine sort of tendency or desire for peace. That's something, I think, very positive development. Now here, the human compassion, human love. This is the key thing. If one's have practiced compassion, love, then forgiveness also automatically comes. We human beings, the present generation of human beings, have the responsibility to shape the future humanity and to give proper education for our younger generation, to show them good example of human being. Not murder or all these negative things should not make example to them, but we must demonstrate it, the value of good human quality. Not only in classroom, in education, in school or university, but even in family. So we must create a proper atmosphere to grow healthy development of children's mind. So every human being, about future world, every human being have responsibility. So let us try to build better human society, happier and friendly human society. So that's everyone's task. So thank you very much. That's all.